Everyone, it's Dr. Jess. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss how to balance a chemical equation. If you're new here, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any new uploaded videos. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's talk about chemical equation. In a chemical equation, the substances on the left-hand side are called reactants and the ones on the right-hand side are called products. During a chemical reaction, all atoms are conserved. So every chemical reaction must be written as a balanced equation. And that shows the same number of atoms for each element in the reactants as well as in the products. So that means that the reactants and the products, you need to see the same number of atoms for each element. And I'll show you how we do that a little bit later. So when the chemical equation is not balanced, we use coefficients to balance each element, but we never change the subscript. Okay, so let's look at this example. Let's look at this equation. H2 plus O2 equals H2O. So is this equation balanced? So how do we know if it's balanced or not? So we have to count the atoms for each element in the reactants as well as the products. So let's look at the reactant side. For hydrogen, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen in the reactant and we have 2 atoms of hydrogen in the product. So that's okay. But let's look at the oxygen. We have 2 atoms of oxygen in the reactant, but 1 atom of oxygen in the product. So that means this equation is not balanced. So how can we balance this? We can use coefficient. So since we have 2 atoms of oxygen in the reactant side, we can add a coefficient of 2 in front of the H2O in the product side, so we can also have 2 atoms of oxygen in the product side. So now, by adding the coefficient 2 in front of the water, the H2O, we can see now that the hydrogen becomes unbalanced. Now we have 4 atoms of hydrogen in the product side, but still 2 atoms of hydrogen in the reactant side. So now what do? We add a coefficient of 2 in front of the hydrogen in the reactant side. So now let's look at the whole thing and see if it's balanced. Now we have 4 atoms of hydrogen in the reactant side and 4 atoms of hydrogen in the product side. Okay, great. For oxygen, we have 2 atoms of oxygen in the reactant side and 2 atoms of oxygen in the product side. Perfect. So now this equation is balanced. Let's look at another example. CH4 plus O2 equals CO2 plus H2O. Is this equation balanced? So we'll know this by looking at the atoms of each element on the reactant side as well as the product. So for hydrogen, we have 4 hydrogen atoms on the reactant side, but 2 hydrogen atoms on the product side. So that's already not balanced. We have 2 oxygen atoms on the reactant side and 3 oxygen atoms on the product side. Okay, so to balance this equation, we have to use coefficients. So let's start by balancing the hydrogen atoms first because it has the most number of atoms. So 4 atoms of hydrogen on the reactant side, we can add a coefficient of 2 in front of the H2O in the product side, so that will give us 4 atoms of hydrogen on the product side as well. Okay. So by doing this, we now have 4 atoms of oxygen on the product side, but still 2 atoms of oxygen in the reactant side. So how do we solve this? By adding a coefficient of 2 in front of the oxygen in the reactant side. So now let's look at this equation again to see if it's still not balanced. So we have carbon, 1 on the reactant, 1 on the product. Hydrogen, 4 atoms in the reactant side and 4 in the product. Oxygen, 4 in the reactant and 4 in the product. Perfect. This equation is now balanced. Okay, that's it for today. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any new uploaded videos. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!